Our last finalist is Kirk Schleiffarth from the School of Earth Science and Environmental Sustainability. Dr. Mary Reed is his major professor. The title of Kirk's presentation is Mysterious Volcanoes in Turkey. Will they erupt again?
I was half asleep on the slopes of a very active volcano after a long day of monitoring its activity. I purposely left the fly off my tent so I could keep an eye on the volcano in case it decided to erupt during the night. Around 3 a.m., the volcano came to life. With a thunderous boom, it explosively spewed ash into the sky and triggered an avalanche of hot, glowing rocks down its slopes, as seen in this photo. Not only are volcanoes dangerous to study, they can have devastating effects on landscapes, ecosystems, property, local and international economies, climate, and human life. My research uses the chemistry of volcanic rocks to understand the source of magma, which then helps us understand what triggers volcanic activity and prepare for future eruptions. I am particularly interested in volcanoes in Turkey in the Middle East because little is known about them and if and when they'll erupt again. Turkey is one of the most geologically active places in the entire world. For several million years, Turkey has been sandwiched in between the Arabian and Eurasian plates. In response, Turkey is literally being squeezed out to the west. The collision also resulted in large mountain ranges, high plateaus, devastating earthquakes, and widespread volcanic activity, represented by the red triangles. We don't normally expect there to be volcanoes when thick continents collide, but in Turkey, volcanoes are unusually common. So my team sought to answer two questions. One, why are volcanoes in Turkey? And two, will these volcanoes erupt again? In order to do this, we spent months in the field collecting volcanic rocks from various volcanoes throughout the region. Back in the lab, we analyzed the rocks to calculate their age and determine their chemistry. What we learned is that many of these volcanoes are very young and that the magma that fed them came directly from the mantle and rose quickly through the crust. These results led us to a very interesting discovery. In normal conditions, when continents collide, we expect the crust to be very thick. This would prevent magma in the mantle from reaching the surface, as you would see in Figure 1. However, what we found in Turkey is that the crust is actually spreading apart and is thin. This allows magma in the mantle to more easily rise to the surface through fractures and faults. And this is why we think there is widespread volcanic activity in Turkey today. As you can see, many of these volcanoes are adjacent to unsuspecting cities and communities and are in harm's way. Even though my research hasn't solved all of the mysteries surrounding these volcanoes, it has been very important to help us understand what triggers volcanic activity in this region and also help us understand which volcanoes are more likely to erupt in the future. With this in mind, I wouldn't recommend sleeping on the side of one of these volcanoes. Thank you.